Hey everybody, this is Pete, and this is
Jule,
and this is Wyatt, and we are going to do something that we were actually kind of inspired by the Diz Unplugged, or whatever it's called nowadays. They had something on it like this, so we're borrowing from them. So a shout out to them, and we are going to talk about some hot takes, some unpopular opinions, possibly, and they might be popular opinions by now, at Walt Disney World. Now, these are our opinions.
Yep.
Jules might not jive with mine, and mine might not jive with Jules,
Nope.
but a lot of times they're going to be, pretty good. Now, Wyatt, I have one on here specifically for Wyatt. I know this. And I agree with him on this one. Okay. I'm going to let my wife go ahead and start with the first unpopular opinion or hot take.
Okay, I kind of mentioned this in the last video as something you should do, but I'm going to tell you that I don't think it's necessary to do it. The pools at the resort are worth checking out. That's what a lot of people will tell you. Oh my gosh, you have to go to the pool at the resort. The pools are great. The pools are great. I'm going to just tell you, you can swim anywhere. And the pools may be nice to get a few pictures of, but I don't think they're really worth the time. I think they're fancy. I think they're nicer than the average, but realistically, you can go to any pool and have fun. I don't think Disney's pools are like that over the top that they're worth going to.
I'm going to agree and disagree. Although we don't do the pools that often. With Wyatt, we definitely don't do the pools. But I think there are some that are just so over the top. I think Stormalong Bay at the Beach Club and Yacht Club, it's almost like a water park. Then again, I do agree. I don't go there to swim. I just don't, and that's just us. That's our opinion. I think you might very well disagree on that. Okay, and now I'm going to start it off, and I know we both agree on this. Dole Whip.
No. Yeah.
I love pineapple. I love soft serve. I'm not sure I like them together. Now, there are other things under the label of Dole Whip, I guess, that are better, but Dole Whip, definitely. The traditional Dole Whip, not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not my favorite.
It doesn't really, I mean, they're okay. Dole Whip's okay. It's not, but it is not something that I would have to go for all the time. I mean, people just absolutely think it's great, and again, and I'm like him. I like the other flavors in a lot of cases. I like when they do a watermelon version or strawberry version, much better than I ever do
a lemon lime.
Yeah, the regular one just doesn't hit the spot. It's okay. It's almost more creamy to me. It's more ice creamy than it really is the Dole Whip flavor.
And it doesn't cool me off as much as as the
it's sweet.
The strawberry or the lemon lime or whatever.
I agree.
Are good. Okay. You go ahead.
Okay, my second one. A lot of people tell you the Carousel of Progress needs to stay the way Walt made it. I don't agree. I believe the Carousel of Progress needs to be updated and needs to have some bigger updates than just changing it a little bit and making it look a little newer. And I think there's a lot to be done with Carousel of Progress. And I think if Walt was here, Walt would not just want to stay stagnant in that same place. I believe he would have been, let's change things up. I mean, he changed from Mortimer all the way to Mickey Mouse, and he changed Mickey Mouse as he went. Mickey didn't stay the same. So I believe Walt would have gone, Carousel of Progress was nice, but we need to make some updates here.
I agree. I think that last scene, or even, needs to be updated a little bit. It is amazing that last scene was done in the 80s. It was revamped in the 80s. and they got a lot of stuff right. They
But
did.
It just needs kind of an overhaul, a feel.
I think it does.
Even
I
the
love
music.
it, though.
I do
love
too.
it.
I do
I
too.
love it. And there will always be a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay,
Go
my next one, and I think we both agree on this one, Tony's.
Yes.
I think Tony's restaurant in the Magic Kingdom is highly underrated.
Highly.
I think it's always been in a prime
Location.
location. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
I knew you were.
But I think the food's really good. I don't
is.
know if it is because of a change in the chef or whatever. It's really good. Now, is it your true Italian? No. But it is very good, and it's very filling, and it's always easy to get a reservation for it.
It is. And I was going to say, and our servers have always been extremely good.
Awesome.
I mean, like, they really know the menu well, and they can answer questions that you have about it. Ours have been wonderful there.
And the theming's really cool, too.
Yes. I love that.
You know, I think we always heard the negatives on that, and never tried it. And both of us tried it one time. We got a quick reservation there, and it was really good. And I'm not a big Italian fan.
But it was a good.
Well, I take that back. I'm just not a big pasta fan. And there's more than just pasta there.
Yeah, the fish was really good.
Okay. You're next.
And actually, weirdly enough, that was my next one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
And I kind of agreed with that. And I do think it's nice. It's nice because it's not as busy as other restaurants. You don't feel like you're packed in there like sardines. You just feel like you have a really good time of that.
Not like in the pyramid at Mexico.
I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness, I mean, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of restaurants that people will tell you are wonderful restaurants, but I will tell you one thing: when you have somebody in a wheelchair, there's nothing like space in a restaurant. It gives you so much ability to get around and do things, whereas some places are just packed on top of each other, and it's just too much. And so, honestly, I'm with him on the whole Tony's thing. I'm like I said, I think when I've asked, even asking about wine and that kind of stuff, they know like what's going to pair with something very well. So
now I'm going to go from one that is underrated to one that is highly overrated. And it's in Epcot. A lot of people will argue with this that it's the best steak on property. It was a good steak, but it wasn't worth the money, and it's Le Cellier.
Yeah. It isn't.
For some of the same reasons. Now, we didn't go with Wyatt there, but we were still crammed in there. We were talking with our neighbors probably more than we talked with the staff,
because we were that close. Yes.
We were that close.
And on top of that, I'll be honest, like my soup, I'd heard, the cheddar cheese soup, you have to get it, it's the best soup. I got it. There was a layer of oil sitting on the top of that cheese soup, and it was nasty. It was just nasty. It was terrible.
It didn't look good either. So Le Cellier is one of my most overrated restaurants.
I was not,
especially for the price.
Yeah, if you're gonna that price,
I would splurge elsewhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There are other restaurants that are much better to splurge on.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with you.
Yours, dear.
My number 4 is that a lot of people will tell you, Disney Springs, that's just a shopping center. You don't want to go there. Disney Springs is so much more than a shopping center, folks. It not only does it have amazing snack locations and restaurants, and I mean, it's got some of the best restaurants on Disney property. It does.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And you not only do you have that, but you also have things like bowling. There's movies. There's boats. There's hot air balloons. There's all kinds of things to see there and do there. And during holidays, they have like the Christmas trees we talked about. There is just so much to see and so much to do. There's even like a little area where there's like a kind of dance party where they'll have singers or musicians and the kids can listen and dance and have fun.
Last summer they had a drone show.
Yeah, they had a drone show. It's very fantastic, really. Yeah. Disney Springs has got so much more than that. So don't let anybody tell you it's just a shopping center, and it's free entertainment. So that's
pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much there are things that you pay for. Of course, you're going to pay to go bowling. You're going to pay to go see a movie. The balloon that you go up in, you pay to go it. But it's actually it is very good deal. I want to say $30 to go up and you see all these sights, and it's worth it unless you're really scared of heights and stuff like that.
It just has a lot.
Now we might disagree on this one. My next overrated restaurant is Via Napoli in Epcot, in the Italian Pavilion. The pizza, it's not bad. It's not good. I'll be honest with you. Here's probably another take of mine. There's really not any good pizza on Disney property.
I agree with you.
They're just not. I do like Blaze sometimes, but because they have a cauliflower crust.
They just
that's at Disney Springs. So the best pizza I think on property is at Disney Springs.
I agree.
But it's still not the best.
No, I'd say Via Napoli, I don't necessarily think it's overrated because I don't think that many people are really that excited. A lot of people don't love Via Napoli either. But I do think that it does get higher ratings for its pizza in a lot of cases. And the pizza was okay. But I'm like him. The pizza doesn't really just stand. Nothing in it stands out. That's the thing about Via Napoli.
I will say our second time we went there was better than our first.
And the second time I was going to say, and the bread was very good. I will tell you that's one thing that we got. You get like a bread service at the beginning. That's some of the best bread. But like that isn't a whole meal. And so it's like, well, great. I had great bread, but that's all I had was great bread and some wine. And you're like, nope, that just doesn't do it for me. That's not enough.
You're up.
I agree with you. Okay, this one is going to be controversial because I know he's going to say, oh, no, you lost your mind. The blue milk is awful, and I don't agree with that. That blue milk that they have in the Star Wars area, that blue milk is really good. If you like milk products and like dairy, now if you don't like dairy, I get it. But if you like dairy products of any kind, I love this milk. It's like you've eaten Fruit Loops and you're eating the end of the milk. It's so good. He's making a face over here because I just absolutely think the blue milk is fantastic. So I'm going to be on that end of the weird people that really think that the blue milk tastes good and is worth the money. I do.
No.
It's just not his thing, nope.
Nor the green milk. Neither one.
A lot of people, though, were like, oh, you got to try the blue milk. And I will tell you, it's kind of a half and half situation. And you get somebody, they'll say, I love the stuff. And the next person says, I can't stand that stuff. Have you lost your mind?
And some people will say, oh, you got to try Beverly. Don't trust them. Okay. Okay, my next take is actually Wyatt's. Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is worth going into. 1, air conditioning. 2, it's cute. It's a very cute little show. And it is, it's just worth it.
I was going to say, and the crowd is included.
And the crowd's very included. It's very inclusive.
You're even included in the queue. You can send in a joke.
You can send in your jokes. I've never had one that is, for some reason, they've never chosen one of mine, but you can do that.
You got too long of jokes. You got to have fast ones.
Yeah. Kind of like, hey, I'm not addicted to brake fluid. I can stop anytime. That's my dad joke for the day, by the way. But Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor is good.
Right.
It's good. And I think that it's highly underrated, I think.
Yeah,
I
do think it is underrated. I agree with you.
And when a little boy in a wheelchair goes by it and gets mad when we don't go in, we know it has to be kind of good.
Yeah, he loves it.
And he loves some good things too. And not to say that Monsters Inc. is not bad, but there's certain things he really wants to do when we go by it. Yeah.
He loves his
And that's
ride.
one of them.
He's a rider.
Yep. Okay, your turn.
My next one is, a lot of people will tell you, oh, wait till there's free dining. Don't listen to that. That depends on how many people you've got. If you are in I was reading some stuff about this. The real truth is the most value you get from that free dining plan is usually when you have a large group and you're going to stay at a value resort. Then that is a good plan for you. A lot of times because you don't know what everybody's going to eat. You know that, like, you're in a big group, you might have like 12 kids. You need to eat.
And that's usually the quick service.
And that's plan. I mean, right. But I mean, you're allowed, that kind of idea. That
I would agree with that.
Versus like a retired couple, just the two of us going, or even with Wyatt, but even just the two of us going. That dining plan is not worth it, because what you're spending per day, you would have to eat 24/7 for the two of us to even get anything out of it. So don't waste your time, especially, and if you're staying at a deluxe resort, it definitely isn't worth it. It's just not. That's not a good.
Unless you're a foodie. Unless
you even, I don't know. I even I read a lady online, and she said, "I'm a foodie, and I don't think it's worth it." So,
I truthfully think the dining plan was much better before COVID than it was
after.
since they've brought it back.
Yeah.
From everything we talked. Now, again, we don't use it anymore. We used to do it when
the kids were little.
When the kids were little, and we got something. I don't think we ever broke even.
Well, and I'll be honest, the kids did like fish like Mama did. Mm-hmm. Mama loves her fish.
Yeah.
And so to be able to take them for fish, it was a lot cheaper to do that dining plan, because they could eat as much as they want.
And this is not on any of that. I think a good room discount is much better than any dining offer.
I agree.
That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Okay. Now, my next one is another I think it's underrated. The Grand Fiesta Tour in the Mexican Pavilion at Epcot is a cute little ride. They're trying to find Donald. The three caballeros are trying to find Donald. And it's a little boat ride. Usually you can pretty much walk on anytime. You see some of it's just another cute little ride. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
I don't agree.
She doesn't agree.
It's the queue's too small.
Yeah, I will go with that. The
queue's
kind of small.
You have to be. I mean, like, even just a normal person fitting in the queue. You couldn't be like a highly overweight person and fit through that queue.
I'll be interested. I know they did some not updates, but I do know that they were working on it not too long ago. Maybe they widened the queue. Although I will tell you, I think that area is pretty crowded anyway.
Yeah.
No matter where you go in that pavilion.
Yeah, it is.
In the pyramid part of it.
It probably needs.
I like Mexico.
It needs redone, I think.
I like Mexico, and I like
needs to concentrate on more like two different things, and not, because right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 things inside of it.
You got the restaurant. You got the bar. The that's tequila
there,
bar.
Yeah.
You got shopping
that's there, and you've got the ride.
And you got
all of that together, and it's just really packed in.
It is crowded.
And honestly,
however, I still think the ride is kind
of
cute.
The ride is just okay. Not
I think
for
it's cute.
It's not. Well, I know.
But again, I'm a Donald.
Opinion.
I'm a Donald fan. Also.
Am I not supposed to give my opinion?
Yeah, but I said this is one of my takes.
I know, but he's
so
wrong.
You can have it. No, I'm not. I think it's a cute ride. All right. You go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just totally rip into yours.
I don't think you will.
No, probably won't.
But you can skip a lot of people will tell you, oh, just skip the Voices of Liberty. That time listening to that music is not worth it. Just go ahead and go on the American Adventure ride. But just skip the music part at the beginning.
Section, yeah.
Please don't, because those musicians are extremely talented.
Oh, yes.
And it changes. That's the fun part is you may hear the music one time and think that was a great song, and the next time you go and it's not the same music. Mm-hmm. They change up their music and they try to keep it fresh. And the directors or the people that kind of direct, I've talked to one of them, and she said, you know, we practice on this all the time, so we know what our next set of music is going to be, but we're practicing, you know, for Christmas now. And so they really try to keep track of all that and really do a good job of that. So it is worth the time, and you can sit right on the floor and watch everything. Now, I can't sit on the floor anymore, but I try occasionally to try to do it. But it's really good, and I think it's worth it, even though some people will tell you to skip it.
Yeah, I totally agree with my wife on that one. So I'm not going to just totally, you know, buzzkill. I think she's going to agree with me on this one. Many people will tell you Animal Kingdom is either a park to skip,
yeah, I
or
put that.
B, just a half-day park. And
I think so either.
I know that there's a lot of construction going on right now, and there will be. And maybe the half-day part will come into play until everything's all done. But for the beauty of a park, I think Animal Kingdom is just, I mean, and Animal Kingdom is probably number 4 on my list for parks. However, I love going there and taking pictures and doing the animals, the you know, all that.
The outdoor,
I think they have some of the best food too.
It really, I love how they do it. I just absolutely adore that. I think it's, honestly, the Animal Kingdom park is worth the time. Mm-hmm. And there's some really, I mean, you can do, the thing is, like, a lot of people are like, well, do the safari at this time. Well, you know what, if you stay long enough, you can do the safari in the morning and the safari at night and see the difference.
Yeah.
So don't forget.
I will say that usually, especially during the winter, they do close it early because it's just, the animals have to go to bed. There's really not a nighttime show because they definitely can't do fireworks there because of the animals. But the Tree of Life is beautiful.
It is.
And if they do start, opening it up later and where the things, they put some lights on that sometimes, and just it's beautiful.
Hey, they're adding Zootopia,
and
folks.
Pandora is gorgeous at night. When you get a chance to see it at night.
Beautiful.
So I think it's much more than a half-day park.
I do too. I agree.
That's just my opinion. So let's go on.
I agree with that. I agree. It's a good opinion, dear. Can you move this back? That's okay. It was okay. I just was sitting funny. The next one I have, and a lot of people will tell you, oh my gosh, you have to go during the holidays. I'm going to just tell you, I think that's a wrong take to have. I'm not saying that the holidays are not fun. I'm not telling you that, because I do think there's a lot of decorations, a lot of beauty to it. I think there's a lot of new foods you can try. There's a lot of interesting things. But I'm going to just tell you, for holiday times, you're going to have bigger crowds always. The weather usually doesn't always cooperate, especially at Halloween. And you miss some of it. That means that, like, the parade ends before it ever starts. You get like 2 things.
Oh, you're talking about
it.
The parties?
The parties, and not all of them are parties, but I mean, in that case, it was a party. But and then you also we have DAS, and the DAS during the parties isn't in effect either. So when you're going during the holidays, just know that you may be going on a day where maybe you're having to leave early because there's a party starting. You're not going to be there for the whole day. Know that, that if you are going for the party, that you may not get some of the things you think you're going to go in and get a peppermint, whatever, and you get in there and they're not making it right now. So, I mean, there's some holiday things that I just think, I mean, I don't know that it's worth going for the holiday stuff I definitely wouldn't go more than once. I don't think it's worth the time for all the holiday stuff.
Here's my probably weird opinion. I don't think you have to go to the parties to enjoy the feel of the holiday.
No, I don't either.
Halloween's different because really the only Halloween decorations are at the Magic Kingdom, and they're up all the time. They're up from beginning of August through Halloween, and then they pop up Christmas time. I think, and it's the same way around Christmas time. I think you get more out of some of the free stuff, like the festivals at Epcot, than you do at the parties out there. Now,
it is so much more crowded during that time. I mean, any time from like your August on till the next year, you feel like you're in your sardine because everybody's there to see all the decorations. So I would just tell you that if you think, okay, I want to go, but I want to have a really good time, and you're like taking a bunch of kids, you might want to go at an off time. It might be easier.
Yeah, you might. I also say look at the crowd calendars. However, they're not as reliable anymore.
No, they're not.
Okay. My next take is Phantasmic. Wasn't as impressed.
No.
It's interesting. It's good. I'm glad I saw it. I hear that it's better in Disneyland. Then again, I hear that about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I've never been to Disneyland. I think if I do go out to Disneyland, I will try it just to see what it's like. But it's not something that I have to experience when I'm at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not something there. Okay, let's go on.
Okay, you'll probably agree with this. The Crystal Palace and Liberty Tree Tavern have good food. I hear that all the time. Those places have great food. I'm going to just tell you, the food there, to me, on both of those places is average at best. I mean, I make a better Thanksgiving meal, I think, than Liberty Tree Tavern. I'm so sorry, Liberty Tree, but it is not good enough for me to be packed into that restaurant. And it is packed. They're crowded. The service is just okay. I mean, they'll tell you stuff, but, like, they don't really stop, and there's not a lot of visiting. They're busy. They don't have the time for that. And on top of that, your kids, in both of those places, even Crystal Palace, sort of where you sit, the kids kind of have to, they get kind of trapped in there. It's kind of an enclosed area. You're stuck where you're at. And so there's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of room for anything. Wheelchairs don't fit in, like, Liberty Tree. Holy cow, that's a terrible place for if you've got a wheelchair, you may as well just kind of quit with that. Yeah. Because Liberty Tree, it just doesn't fit. No. We've tried twice. And the second time we got with the wheelchair in, but we still were, like, stuck where we were. The first time, I think we put the wheelchair down when he was little. Yeah. And put him in a seat because it was just too packed. Yeah. It's just, both of those places don't have good enough food for me to go more than one. I just am not impressed, and I hear all the time people say, oh, Crystal Palace is good. It was not that great. It was okay, but it was not standout.
Okay, I'm gonna half agree, half disagree on this. I think the food quality is not as great, and I'll agree with it. However, I think with Liberty Tree, if you don't have the wheelchair, and you don't mind being there, I think. Now my son and I, my oldest son, not Wyatt, and I went there one time and we enjoyed it. It does fill you up. It is your typical Thanksgiving. You know, I wish they had a little bit more dark meat. Okay, Crystal Palace. If you are a Winnie the Pooh fan, yeah, it's worth the go. The food, again, not. But
I hear that the food's good. That's what I hear all the time. Crystal Palace has good food.
I think it's improved since we've been there. From what I've heard.
I just don't think any. The thing about Magic Kingdom is I don't think a lot of their sit-down places have really all that great of food. They're all okay, but
Tony's is okay. And,
Tony's.
I think it's better than Be Our Guest.
I think so too.
Okay. My next thing, and I know she's going to agree with me on this one. Gideon's in Disney Spring could go away forever and ever, and I would not be hurt.
Nope.
The only reason
It won't go away.
the only reason
line is huge.
the only reason I like it is because there's so many people waiting in line for that they're not going to eat at other places.
Yes.
It gets to the point where they have a virtual queue for the line, and the reason why there's a huge line is because it's such a small little area when you get in there. You only have so much room, so you can't take. I mean,
the wheelchair can't even go in there.
Yeah, you had to go.
There's no room for it.
And the cookies, they're huge.
They're like this.
And if that's the kind of cookies you like, then this is the place for you. But that's not the kind of cookies. I like a soft cookie, don't get me wrong. But I don't like a doughy cookie. And it
tasted like a big lump of dough.
It looked like a bunch of chocolate chips all over, and then you bite in, and it's almost doughy. It's almost undone.
Yep. Not my thing.
It wasn't my thing. Okay.
I thought I waited a lot longer than I should have for an average, nasty cookie.
Now, I will say the cake slices are better.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the wait.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
A lot of people will tell you the value resort is always the cheapest. Always go for the value resort. That's not true, folks. You really need to check out your time, because my husband and I was looking online for a certain time to go, and there came Coronado Springs. Wasn't it Coronado? It was Coronado.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And up came this price of $184, which that's a low price for a Disney resort. And that's a moderate Disney resort.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a value resort. And it was $184. It was cheaper than any. The value resorts were all running $250, $300, and here was this resort $180. We got that resort and stayed. It was a wonderful experience.
Had plenty of room.
Plenty of room. It was really good food that we ate there. Rick's, by the way, is a good place to eat. So there's a lot
cute
of
little
things.
Gift shop.
Yes, and wonderful gift shop. There was a lot of things there that I was just very impressed with. So be careful. Don't assume the value resort. And I will tell you, like Art of Animation, a lot of times runs about the same as the moderate resorts. So if not a little more.
Now that's the suites. So if you have people that you need to get in, multiple people,
you
then
have
that's
to.
it. But I think there's other that is the number one reason why I say trust a Disney travel agent.
Because we know that stuff. You'd be surprised though how many times you find a resort that you weren't expecting to be cheaper than you expect. Because sometimes they have downtimes, and that's what happened with Coronado Springs. They normally do a lot of business seminars and those kind of things there, and have a lot of businessmen. Well, it was their downtime, and I found it the week that we were going, and so it was perfect timing.
Yeah. Always look for those discounts and stuff. It's really good. And that happens with not just I remember going for a family of 5, and that was us at the time. I remember looking at costs.
Yeah.
And it was cheaper to stay at Riverside.
Yep, Port Orleans, Riverside.
Than it was to stay at Art of Animation, and that was the only other at that time that was the only value resort that could house us. That now the at the time, and it still does. The Riverside can handle up to 5 with a little fold-out bed, which was perfect for my daughter, who loved that. Now, if it's 5 big people.
You may not want to
do it unless you like sleeping through to a bed, or whatever. But
I will tell you the suites for the Art of Animation, they are very large.
They are.
So I mean, there's lots of space, lots of extra space.
But I mean, just cost efficient.
Right.
I think.
If you're
I will tell you, there's more opportunities at Riverside. You can take a boat to Disney Springs. There's a table service meal. There's that. So
lots of good stuff.
Now, my take is this: Star Tours is better than Smuggler's Run. Now, Smuggler's Run is the Millennium Falcon thing. I don't know if this is a hot take, or a lot of people would agree with me, but I think the way they do Star Tours is better. For one, you know, you don't. Smuggler's Run is dependent on the person who's piloting, and it's someone different. If you got somebody who can't take control of the thing, it's not that good. Now, I've done it a couple of times. It's okay, but I think if they did Smuggler's Run like they do Star Tours being just a thing, I think it would be much better. With the idea that you're still in the Millennium Falcon, but I think Star Tours is a better attraction ride than Smuggler's Run.
Okay.
It's my opinion.
I trust him. I don't know this one.
Your turn.
Okay. A lot of times you'll hear nothing is free at Disney. I will tell you, there are a few things. They're not a lot, but there are a few things that you can get. One, you can get a button if you're celebrating something. A button that says like happy anniversary, happy birthday, you know, and people notice that. I will tell you, people that go there a lot will notice it, and all the staff will notice it. So you've got that. You've also got for like the monorail, ferries, buses, that kind of stuff. A lot of them either have stickers or there are cards that you can collect. So they try to give you a little bit of something. Plus, if you're in like a park, think of some of those things like I was talking about, the Voices of Liberty. Those kind of things, you're not paying extra for a lot of that stuff. And so you're getting a little bit extra entertainment. There's also, I will tell you, some amazing like drummers over at, is it Chinese Pavilion?
Well, Chinese Pavilion, and also in Africa.
Yes.
Animal Kingdom.
And oh my goodness, that is fantastic to sit and listen to the music from all that. And it's so much fun. And oh my goodness, and Divine, absolutely fantastic. Divine, she's a woman that's on stilts, basically. But she is covered in vines, and you will not see her because she is camouflaged. Very much into all the scenery around you.
It is. But a small time, usually in the morning, because she would sweat to death if she was.
Yeah, she was there all the time.
But she's usually, as you're going into the Animal Kingdom, I want to say as you go through the check-in area, if you go to your right
at the
you can
beginning.
catch it, and usually before 10 o'clock she's out there, and then there's other meet and greets out there after that. Usually sometimes Pocahontas, sometimes Miko, sometimes Pocahontas.
And I will tell you, the people that like, even like there's guys that wander around with like water, and they can paint on the sidewalk. And they will paint pictures for like the kids.
A lot of times, and Jule said a lot of things about the stickers, but sometimes you can get them at attractions and stuff. They'll give it, especially if you have a cute little kid next to you.
It works really well.
It works real well. He used to have to wear a helmet, and his helmet was covered in Disney stickers.
Yes, it was. So there are fun things.
There are fun things. There are some things that you can get for lower costs. Used to do pressed pennies. They were like 51 cents. Yeah, it was a penny for 51 cents. So,
and they have little pictures on the pennies when they press them.
They're a little bit more now, I think, because you get like 4 for
a certain
amount. So, with that said, my next one is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Everybody, you see it a lot on the advertisements, and and you think that there's going to be a giraffe at your door every day. There's not. We were there, and we even had a Savannah View a few years ago. It was kind of neat. I got some pictures where Wyatt was out on the balcony, and there were some giraffes out there, but that was like 1 out of the 3 days. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It's just not there. And I just don't think it's so far away from everything except for Animal Kingdom. It's just the transportation's not that good. It's only buses to the other parks.
And just it's it's got so many buildings that are far away from even the center building.
Yeah.
We were so far away. I mean, it was like you took one elevator to go down to this floor and then take another elevator to get all the way down. It took forever.
Let's put it this way. I got my steps in that trip.
I mean, it was
I didn't even have to go to the parks to do it, although I did go to the parks.
But now I will tell you, their main lobby is absolutely fascinating. Their
especially
gift
Christmas
shop,
time. Oh.
Their gift shop is amazing.
It is.
They really have an amazing
It's a
gift
nice
shop.
resort, don't get me wrong. But and if you're going deluxe, it's usually the least expensive because of their transportation issue. Most of the other deluxes are on a different. But you either have the monorails or you have the Skyliners, and it's just
it just doesn't have enough for me to go over and over again.
Okay,
it's not worth that.
Your turn.
Okay. You're going to hear a lot of people tell you, too, all Disney ears, they're the same. I mean, once you got a set, you don't need another set. That's not true. Disney ears have everything from, like, so you can get stitching put on them sometimes. You also have different kinds of Disney ears. You might have a one that's more of like a cap. There are headbands now. There are different characters on it. That you went from having just Mickey and Minnie. Now you've got almost all the characters have at least one headband somewhere. Almost all of them. And even the ones that don't, there's new headbands now where you can actually put characters on the headbands.
Pop them out,
pop them out and take them on and off. So you can change up your headband for the day. And I also noticed too, like a lot of the companies are starting to make it. You've got, like Loungefly has started making their own version. And a lot of times, like leather, nice, fancy headbands. So, I mean, if you think all of them are the same, plus you got ones in other countries. You go to Epcot and every country has their own Mickey ears. So don't assume you've gotten one. If I've got Mickey ears. I don't need any more. I'm telling you, you could spend a lot of money on just Mickey ears alone.
I don't have any Mickey ears. Although there is and I will say there is a new product out that if you wear a lot of baseball caps, you can get one that has a little magnet and you can magnetize two Mickey ears on it
onto your head. Yeah.
And I've asked people about how good they are because I'm
kind of interested.
And they say they hold up real well. Okay, my next one is and I'm not sure how my wife's going to act to this. I think Joffrey's is much better than Starbucks.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
she
agrees with me. Now, I think you can get Starbucks anywhere.
Yep.
You just can. And the Starbucks in the Magic Kingdom is the same as the Starbucks down on Main Street in Hickory, North Carolina.
It all tastes the same.
I think my take is that Starbucks is just not that good of a coffee.
No, it's not.
Joffrey's is a better coffee.
It's a good quality coffee.
Good quality coffee. I think Disney should go back to having Joffrey's as their number one.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
that's
I like Starbucks, okay, but I just don't think.
Now,
I don't think it's worth the. It just doesn't have enough good flavor. It's okay.
And I don't think it's definitely not worth the wait.
No. Well, and I don't think, honestly, even if you're in a line for Starbucks, usually it goes really fast. I mean, you're done in 15 minutes usually with any Starbucks order, no matter where you go. And I will say it just doesn't have enough.
And I'm not sure if you can on this, but if you can, mobile order.
Yeah.
Mobile order.
I know you can Starbucks, but I don't know if you can Joffrey's.
You can?
Yeah.
So Joffrey's usually, when you find a place that serves Joffrey's, it's usually just kind of a walk-up thing.
Yeah.
It's usually outside the parks.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay. You're next.
And this is my last one.
Okay.
He has a few more. A lot of people will tell you Epcot's only for the adults. That is not true. Epcot, first of all, has added a lot of new things to it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
The first section, don't just assume everything's in the
World
Showcase. You don't have to assume it's all there. Because before you ever get into the World Showcase, there are a ton of rides, folks. Like, lots of rides. And they're all made even for the kids. I mean, we see little kids all the time on on like Soarin'.
Mm-hmm.
There are kids that are getting on that. So it's not made for, you can be little and still go on it. There is a lot of rides. There are a lot of things for the kids to do. The foods are also not, like, it's not all, I mean, like, you'll hear about the sushi donut. Well, that's fine, but there's burgers and fries there, folks, too. You know, you're gonna get, like, your typical food. I mean, they know that everybody's picky, so it's okay to...
I think I mentioned that last year. You don't, you know, if you have a picky eater, they always...
there's
they have,
something for
Disney
everybody.
knows there's picky eaters.
Yes, they do.
And there's always something for somewhere. And even in Epcot, I agree with you.
And Epcot, and also there's also really interesting toys there. So don't necessarily skip some of the places, because you can find some. I'm going to tell you now. In Japan, in particular, Japan has it's a replica of one of their largest malls. Is really what it is, and it's in Japan, and it's got some absolutely neat stuff that you probably have never seen. Even some fun stuff that, like, I got a coin purse there that I absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of different things. So don't assume, you know, Hello Kitty is there and that kind of stuff. So don't assume that, you know, it's not made for kids, because the real truth is Disney recognized that it was less kids, and so they went in and they've redone it and redone a lot of the rides and stuff. And there's a Ratatouille ride. Wyatt can get on that in his wheelchair, which is really nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice. Even though it's not my favorite ride, he loves it.
I was going to say that was going to be one of my hot takes. I'm not a big fan of Remy's, although he loves it.
He does.
And it is very accommodating. I think a lot of the newer rides are very accommodating for people, not just for children, but also for people with disabilities.
Yes, they are.
But, you know, okay, I have 3 more, and I'm just gonna bang them out. They're all kind of,
and I probably agree with them.
Unpopular opinions. Well, and I don't know if this one is anymore. Ohana definitely is overrated.
And it's gone downhill.
It's gone downhill. It used to be really good.
Right, we used to eat it and it was pretty good, but it's just not good like it used to be.
We used to almost it was one of those must-dos whenever we went. But then again, we were only going once a year at that time. It's not a must-do anymore, and I think the last time we said it's a never-do again. I think
it just really, and the waiter, I think we didn't, like, they left our drinks unfilled, and it was just not
the
great.
idea that you have to, they kind of hurry you through is kind of correct.
It felt that way.
You know, they want you to get
like,
there.
Go.
Now, my other 2 are 2 rides that are very close together, and one's A Small World. Yes, it is a classic Disney ride. Yes, it is. But no. It's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite.
It's not my least favorite.
I don't know.
He
doesn't care about that one either, really.
And why, you know.
It's
and
not,
that song gets stuck in your head. Now, a long time ago.
If you like the Kingdom Keepers, you might like the ride, though.
Well, you get freaked out. It used to pipe into around, you could hear it before you got there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really bad. Now, the other one is called Peter Pan's Flight. And I'm not a big fan of this. It is, for some reason, it always has the longest wait times, queue times. So I just don't do it anymore. I think I've only done it once. It's okay, maybe, but it's not. It's definitely not worth the wait time. Mm-hmm. I think there's other places that are worth the wait that don't even have it doesn't seem like you're waiting as long.
Kilimanjaro Safari,
they wind you through and stuff. Yeah, I'll do that.
But that one's worth it.
But again.
And also
Haunted Mansions. Haunted Mansion is really good. With the Kali River Rapids, usually we don't have to wait as long because of him. Our DAS pass there.
Yeah.
And it will cool you off. Although, ironically, we like it. He did.
Yeah, water's not his thing.
Water's not his thing, especially that one, because you get really. Now
you do get wet.
He loved Tiana's Value Adventure
Yep.
stuff. Okay, that's it for unpopular or popular opinions. Or how much? If you agree with some of these, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with some of them, keep your mouth shut. No, I'm just,
you can disagree in the comments too.
You can disagree in the comments, and if you want to add some into the comments. We are going to you probably won't see her next week.
Nope.
Because she's going to be gone. You'll probably see us too. But you'll hear from me. Love you. Mean it. Bye.